Good morning, class. Picking up on where we left off from our second video, we are on number 21. In number 21, it says in A31, enter the label total and format it appropriately. Well, in A31, we should have the word total, and it is in bold. In number 22, it says that we're going to use the AutoSum function to calculate the totals of regular pay, overtime pay, and gross pay, and that we need to adjust the columns. So in regular pay, we already have the total sum. We are now going to do the total sum for overtime pay by clicking in the box or in the cell that we want our totals to be in, go up here to the top and click AutoSum, and then hit enter. We are also going to do the same thing in K31 by clicking on K31, click AutoSum, and then if you notice, it's trying to add these two numbers here that's in I31 and J31, but we do not want that. We want the total gross pay. So we are going to make sure that we are selecting from K4 all the way to K29, which will change your numbers in your sum function, and then hit enter. Now we have our totals. In A32, it says that we're going to enter the label averages. So in A32, we're going to type the word averages. Number 24, we're going to calculate the averages for hourly rate, overtime rate, hours worked, and gross pay. And then it says format the cells with monetary figures as currency. So in A for hourly rate, that is going to be in D32. We are going to use the average function. Means we're going to do equals. Type in the word average, and if you notice, it will start popping up for you. We're going to double click, and then we are going to select the cell range that we want the average of. And for this particular cell range, we want D4 to D29, and then we're going to hit enter. That will give us that average of our hourly rate. We are also going to do the same thing for overtime rate. So we are going to come into E32, do equals, start typing the word average, find it, double click, and then go back up and select our full range for that column, and then hit enter. We now have our average. Do the same thing for hours worked. Hours worked is in column F, so we're going to do equals the word average. Double click when it comes up, and then select our range and hit enter. And then we're going to reduce our decimal places to 1 decimal place. Okay. The next one is our gross pay. Well, gross pay is in column K. So once again, we're going to go to K32. We're going to go ahead, type equals the word average. It's going to pop up. We're going to double click and then select our range and hit enter. Make sure that it is in currency, or you can keep it as accounting as the number format. Then based on your handouts, number 25 and number 26, you're going to answer those questions and going on with your worksheet. Also answer the questions 27 through 32. Now you are able to answer those questions on your spreadsheet starting in cell A35. Next thing that we're going to do, and just be aware that your worksheet is a little bit off as far as your cell number, so always just move it over to 1. So in cell K3 on your worksheet, but instead it's going to be an L3. So in cell L3, we're going to type the label FICA, and we're going to hit enter, and then we're going to calculate in L4 FICA, which is a tax. So we're going to do equal sign. And your FICA tax is calculated by multiplying gross pay. So that is in K4 times 0.0725. And we hit the enter. We are going to have to double click to make this a little bit bigger, this cell bigger. Once we have the one formula in, we are able to copy that formula. The way that we're going to copy that formula is make sure that we have that cell selected. We're going to go to the bottom right corner, make sure we have a solid black cross, click and drag. And now we have our FICA tax. Then in M3, we're going to label that net pay. And then we are going to calculate the net pay. Net pay is equal to our gross pay and subtracting our FICA tax. So it is going to be, let's say K4 minus L4. We're going to hit enter. We now have our net pay, and we are then going to copy our formula. Again, you'll see hashtags. Hashtags means that the cell is too small for the number. We'll come up in between column M and N and double click, and then it will make it bigger. And then on number 36, we're just going to sort the spreadsheet alphabetically by employee. So to sort by employee, we are going to select from A3 all the way to M29. We're going to go to sort and filter. We're going to do a custom sort. We are going to sort by employee, and then make sure our order is A to Z, so that way it's alphabetical, and then click OK. And if you notice, it will sort and take all the information that is for that person along with it. The next thing, number 37, you're going to do an overall check on appearance, and just make sure that you have your title is centered across the entire section, which means that you're going to click on cell A1. You're going to take the merge and center off by clicking on it. Then you're going to reselect from A1 to M1, and then click merge and center again. The next thing that we want to make sure is that we have borders on any additional information that did not have borders. So we're going to select columns M and N and make sure that we click the border icon that says all borders. Okay. And if you notice, everything here is bolded. So we're going to go back and make sure that we select all data that's not bolded. Make sure that it is consistent with everything else. And actually, it is not bolded, and it is actually in Arial 12. So we want to make sure that our font is all consistent. So select once again and make it all Arial 12. If you have any questions, just let me know. And this concludes our guided practice with our if statements. Thank you and enjoy.